crazy, right?
What are your superpowers?
Superpowers, dude? I don't even know how to pee in this thing.
Thanks for watching Slice of SciFi. I'm Noah Richmond,
And I'm Daren Goldsvik.
talking about
Shazam!
Shazam!
Captain Marvel!
Ooh, don't say that. Marvel will
Shaz-
come see you.
He is the original Captain Marvel.
Yeah, well, and that's of course that's the irony of the whole thing, that this character who's been around forever,
Yeah.
DC lost, didn't get the rights to the Captain Marvel name, even though the character is Captain Marvel. So that winds up being a running joke throughout the course of the film, that this is like the superhero with no name, because of course if he were to say his name, he'd
Lawsuit.
or if he were to say the name Shazam, he would turn right back.
Yeah, I just think it's ironic. It's actually, I think it started in the 70s, right? And like when they had the Shazam came out with their new comic, it was Shazam no longer. It wasn't Captain. I don't know.
Right.
It was the
Yeah.
campy 70s.
Anyway, so of course the thing that stands out about this one is we're finally getting a film in the DC universe. The DC universe as created with Zack Snyder and
Being removed. Thank God.
well, what I was
Oops.
I guess I'm trying to say, who was the guy before Snyder who did the Dark Knight films?
Chris Nolan. Yeah.
Chris Nolan. Yeah. Okay.
Who was amazing.
So what I was gonna say is we're talking about the DC universe post Chris Nolan.
Darkness is gone.
The Chris Nolan, Zack Snyder universe. This is really the first thing that's come out that is just purely fun.
Yeah.
I think, to be fair, this film was planned even when Snyder was in quote unquote control of the DC film universe. But it really is the first thing that DC's done in a long time that's a live action film that is just purely fun, entertaining superhero movie, completely unpretentious about being anything else, not trying to be grim and dark and philosophical or any of that. It's just trying to be a good old-fashioned superhero movie.
In spades too. I mean, it knows what it is, and that's why I think it was so fun.
Yeah. So did you have did you find this to be something that you enjoyed? That they just threw the grimness out the window and just went all out with.
It actually started a little bit with Aquaman, the previous one. I thought that kind of was a little. It wasn't so damn dark, and the character wasn't foreboding. I mean, just and I think this is in a kind of that, obviously with a lot more positive. It felt fun, man, and I think that's the biggest takeaway. I didn't when I was over with, I was just like, and I know I'm going ahead with the review here, but yeah, I mean, it's refreshing now, and because DC has this wonderful catalog of characters they can tap into, and I think the future is looking great. I mean, if this is
a direction that they're going.
If they're gonna go, yeah, I mean, have fun with it for Jesus. Don't.
And so here's the thing that really struck me about this film, because one of the things that both of us did before seeing it is we went on YouTube and we found an episode of the 1941 Shazam serial, which I thought was actually quite well done for its time.
Colonialism at its best.
Yes, it's certainly dated, but taken as what it was, the piece of pulp fiction from the era that it came from. I thought, oh boy, they're gonna take this and do this in the modern era. They're just gonna find some way to completely thumb their nose at this old source material, and what we're gonna see is gonna be really more of a Shazam parody than a Shazam film. The thing that really surprised me is how much they were able to take that campy old source material and have fun with it, rather than just purely making fun of it.
Dude, I think Zachary Levi is the one that really, he was the center force that really brought it all together. It didn't feel like it was making a mockery of the idea, because it is kind of goofy when you think about it. I mean, they got a big freaking. And the thing is, I've thought about this recently. Any superhero that has to wear a cape, it's kind of a hard sell nowadays, and so that's why it's so kind of funny. I mean, even Superman, it's hard, but I think it still works if it's done right, and I think in this movie it proved it in spades. You know, it was fun. You know, and I don't know, maybe the director he understood it, and I think that was the key. He wasn't trying to change it; he just embraced it, and I think anybody will like this movie. I mean, any age group, you know, not anybody will like it, but I mean, I just think it's one of those movies that it's just you come out of the theater thinking, yeah, that was fun.
So there were some issues that I think we had. Number one being for a film that is this much of kind of a fun fluff film, the running time is an epic 2.5 hours, and I thought that the runtime was a bit unnecessary.
My daughter was watching the movie with me, and we left the theater and she had this funny look on her face. I said, "Didn't you like it?" "Yeah, but it was so long." Well, that's kind of a good point right there. You know,
right.
It's
another thing that they change is I know another thing that you and I both had some issues with is Shazam. The origin of the story is you have this wizard and he's looking for this pure soul that he wants to pass on this wizardry magic legacy to, and yet somehow out of all the people who he eventually finds, it goes to this kid who is not a bad kid, but there's nothing extraordinarily.
Dude, I should have been Shazam as a kid, man. I mean, yeah, he did some things that would, gave him the right to be Shazam, but yeah, you're right. It's like, I think he did what everybody would have done, you know.
Right.
Yeah, that felt rushed.
And I think the one other thing that was, I think, a bit of a detraction, they made him into an abandoned child who was going from foster home to foster home. That in itself I didn't think was an issue, but the story that they developed with his relationship with his mother, I thought wound up being a little weak. It wound up being a little hard to swallow.
There's your extra time.
Yeah, right, exactly.
No, I agree. I mean, that was the part, it just felt, it would just kind of, we didn't need to see that. You know what I mean? It was one of those plot points that was kind of led him to be who he is. We didn't need to fill in the blanks there. I felt like I was being spoon-fed that part, you know what I mean?
Right.
And it just came across cold and incalculated, just, unnecessary.
Yeah.
And actually, it's funny, you said, backing up for a second about Billy Batson being this morally good kid, you know? That was the part of the movie I had a hard time with, because I felt he was kind of annoying, and I don't know if that was the design, but I didn't like him as much, man. The kid playing the Billy Batson, I thought he was kind of a little jerk, you know? And that was why it was hard for me to really, what makes this kid so damn special, you know? But as the movie got its rhythm and it got into it, it was fine. The relationship was kind of cool. Right. But like I said, for me, it was Zachary Levi. Levi is the one that he just like a kid, man. It's like you could tell.
He plays a good grown-up kid.
Yeah, but you could tell he's like he really appreciated being in his role. I mean, some people I think just kind of but you can tell he didn't give a shit. He was in these tights. He loved it. I mean, that's the feeling I got. And so, yeah, I mean, his exuberance and love for the role just kind of exuded. It just came through the movie.
Right.
Throughout the whole movie, and I loved it. What I want to know is this: who in the hell is it? Mark Strong, the guy who played the antagonist? Who's his agent, man? Because this guy's getting hooked up with a lot of good movies. You know?
Yeah?
Well, he was in the debacle Green Lantern. He was in The Kingsman. He's a good actor, but I just like, he's been in a lot of movies recently, so kind of find that odd. But not to distract from the movie, because it definitely is something I think everyone watching it, going into a DC movie, everyone has their apprehensions, particularly if you're a comic book fan or a movie fan. So if you're having that feeling about it, I'm telling you, it's a fun movie. So that said,
Yeah. So certainly for me, my main takeaway is it just felt so good to go out and see a movie and just come out of it feeling good, like feeling like I had a good time. And it just seems like it's been a long time since I had that.
All these downtrodden apocalyptic movies.
I certainly didn't have that coming out of the Marvel Captain
Marvel.
Captain Marvel. That one I felt like I just came out of some formula where they're throwing jokes at me and I'm supposed to laugh. Whereas this, I really felt like I came out and I genuinely had a good time with it.
And it kind of this feeling of great feeling. It kind of reminded me of like Big from Tom Hanks back in the day. In fact, it almost felt like there was a nod to that movie there's a couple scenes in there, but it also kind of had that Goonies,
Right.
just really fun and I think it's going to age well myself because it's one of those movies I think people will want to watch. Oh, that's on TV, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't put you in a bad mood, and I think that's the most important thing.
Right.
But
yeah. Anyway, I think that's our feelings.
We actually liked the movie that DC
Shazam,
made.
yeah.
We actually liked the DC movie. That's
we definitely recommend this one.
Yeah.
2 thumbs up. Good time at the movies, and
Shazam!
thanks for watching Slice of SciFi.